The Cuban Missile Crisis was the moment in which both superpowers came closest to have a full-scale nuclear war. It all started when in 1961 the USA tried to overthrow the communist regime in Cuba through the Bay of Pigs invasion. After the attack, the Cuban government was afraid of another attack from the USA, so the USSR agreed with the Cubans to secretly send missiles to protect the island and protect themselves from a nuclear attack from American bases in Turkey and Italy. For 13 days, the world was in the brink of destruction, but it was saved through diplomacy and the communication between both superpowers. The conflict took place in the US's backyard. Moreover, the missiles were located only 90 miles from Florida. The missiles were discovered by the US on October 14, 1962, when an American U-2 spy plane secretly passed over Cuba and got clear photographic evidence of Soviet nuclear weapons. This information was given to the American President John F. Kennedy 2 days later, so he called for an emergency meeting where he created the XCOM, a group whose only purpose was to advise the president during the crisis. In the meetings that followed, members of the XCOM discussed which approach they should take to manage the conflict. They determined that the presence of the missiles was unacceptable. Some of them proposed attacking the island with airstrikes and then invading it, but at the end Kennedy decided to calmly negotiate his way out of the situation. Consequently, after 2 weeks of deliberating, Kennedy notified the world during a special TV transmission the presence of the nuclear weapons in a neighbor island. On October 22, the president ordered a naval blockade to avoid the shipping of more missiles to the island and demanded the removal of the weapons and the destruction of the sites where they were being assembled. Nikita Khrushchev, the Soviet leader, said that blocking the possibility of weaponry to enter the island was an aggression, so Kennedy had to declare that the blockade was a quarantine and that it did not block the entrance of the basic needs of the people. Therefore, Khrushchev sent military ships and nuclear submarines near the line of US vessels that were enforcing the blockade, adding tension to the situation. Both countries declared that they were prepared to respond to any aggression, but they were communicating and negotiating their way out of the crisis in secret. Although the situation in the blockade was tense, the dialogue between both superpowers was always ongoing. On October 26, Khrushchev sent a letter to Kennedy where he offered a deal. He proposed to remove the Cuban missiles in exchange for a promise from the US not to invade Cuba and to remove the missiles from Turkey and Italy. Possibly, the day where a nuclear war was closest was on October 27, a day that is now known as the Black Saturday. In the morning, an American spy plane that was flying in a high altitude over Cuba was shot down by a Soviet missile, killing the pilot in the process and causing the only casualty of the Cuban Missile Crisis.